Sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
And you're like, which leads me to this. Live from New York, it's the show with non-verbal cues. A lot of them. A lot of them. A lot of them have to do with Brew blowing through the commercials.
Brew claims his earpiece doesn't work every day so he can ignore the producers.
I hear nothing.
It's first things
Every
first.
day.
Today, will Bill Belichick be the next coach of the Dallas Cowboys? One person here thinks it will work. Meanwhile, LeBron versus Joker. Mike Malone stating facts. Is there another sweep on the board? And finally,
And a big show bet related to that.
we have a big bet?
Yeah. I'm gonna get you on it. Don't worry about it.
I'm excited about that. Another edition of the most motivational segment in all sports. It's the Bud List with just a video of Nick Sirianni.
I guess he's
There's a
on it.
lot of people to consider this week.
Is he on it?
Maybe. We'll see.
Well, I hope so, or else it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, he was in
Coach
consideration.
Okay. Nick Wright, Kevin Wildes, Chris Broussard. We're going to start with Philly. We'll stay in Philly. Moving on, despite being booed after falling behind by 14 and turning the ball over a dozen times, the Sixers got it together and rallied after a free food giveaway, advanced to the 7th seed. Here's Embiid postgame.
It means a lot, being down a lot, lost a boy. But we stuck together. It just shows you that I don't play my best. I don't get to my spots, the whole game until the fourth quarter. And we still found a way to win. They like to make it nasty. We can do it too, and we made it nasty too.
Okay. Brew, you more or less confident in Philly after last night?
Let me start with the positives. Philly showed me a lot of heart last night. Like, I went into this game thinking, okay, Miami's the mentally tougher team, and Philly's the more talented team. So let's see which prevails, all right? And I got to give Philly credit, coming down from a 14-point or back from a 14-point deficit in the second quarter, 13-point deficit in the third quarter. I thought that was impressive. And I think, look, with Nick Nurse, I think they're better coached than they have been in several years, really, that Embiid's ever had. And I think they have more offensive depth. Like we saw Nick Batum. I'm not expecting him to do that maybe ever again in the playoffs. No. But still, he stepped up last night. But if it's not, you got the two stars, obviously, with Maxey and Embiid. Tobias Oubre can have a big night
Wild
here or there. Yeah, so I like, and Kyle Lowry's there. Yeah, so I like what I saw last night, except Joel Embiid was laboring through 4 quarters.
Wow.
I mean, he clearly, what was he, 70% maybe? I don't know. But I have no faith. He's not going to get healthier during these playoffs. Like playing, 7 games, the next 7 games at playoff level intensity against a physical team like the Knicks, it's not going to make him healthier or any better. So, Nick, I've got less faith because of what I saw with Embiid.
So I disagree. I feel like you have to have more confidence because they avoid Boston. Your point, he's not going to get healthier, I generally agree with. I said yesterday, like if you suffered an MCL injury, a doctor wouldn't be like, in 6 weeks from now, play high-intensity basketball to make sure it gets better. But after I said that, some people did respond that seemed that is correct, but it is also correct. Just the passage of time from the injury, you do get slightly healthier as long as you don't re-injure it. So I generally agree with you, but I do also understand the further away you get from it, which is why it's critical they don't get Boston in round 1, and they were 1 point away from getting Boston in round 1. I also think your point about Nick Nurse is a good one, the best coach he's ever had, and I think a great coach. Not historically great, but amongst today's NBA head coaches, I think he's a top 5 coach. And I'm biased here because he's a friend of mine, but I also think I'm honest. I think Daryl Morey's done a great job filling out the roster and getting tertiary and, know what I mean, whatever the 4th level of tertiary is, pieces like a Nick Batum, who on a night can fill it up, getting Kyle Lowry for next to nothing and him becoming a key player. I like their supplemental pieces. And maybe 32-8 has to mean something. And I don't think 32-8 is a 65-win pace. I don't think that is what they are. But even since Embiid's come back, they just keep winning when he plays. Yeah. He hasn't looked great. And yesterday he collapsed on a free throw. Like I think he was doing like a knee bend, like go in, but then because the knee's not strong enough.
I thought he was joking.
No,
he like really collapsed.
No, what I thought he was doing, if you guys, I should have had Hubs pull the video. Sometimes when he shoots free throws, he does like that little like almost trying to put English on it afterwards. And I think while he was doing that, he lost his balance a bit, so that's why he went down.
Around.
But they do
I
keep
think you're
winning.
ignoring the elephant in the room. I mean, you're right. 32. If he were healthy, I would think they've got a really good chance to get out of the East.
Finals.
Now, virtually no chance to get out of the East.
Okay. Here's his stats since he's come back. I mean, remember LeVar Ball?
Never lost?
Yeah, he hasn't lost since he's come back. He's 6-0. He's only played 32 minutes.
Good.
I know. Last night it wasn't good. It was the second worst of the season.
6 for 17.
Maybe
but he
just
was
a little
excellent
bit
in
rusty,
the fourth,
but
right?
He was nice.
Yeah.
I mean, a bad game, and he had 23 and 15 in a win against a pesky Heat team, but.
And against the best defensive center in the conference.
Yeah.
They look, I don't want to take anything away from them. They showed heart and courage. Do they win if Butler's not hurt?
Well,
and I would honestly say I don't think they beat Miami in the series if Butler was there. They would have won that game. It'd be a tough 6-7 games. Okay. But
I said that about Zion. I got lambasted.
No, I think that's fair, and I agree with you that Embiid at this level of health, they are, the clock is ticking on their season, but you now do have more time. You have more time before the first round. You have a team that we're going to get to that is not a juggernaut the way Boston was. I think, for all things considered, last night went well for Philly.
All right, Sixers next game in Madison Square Garden, Saturday night. The Knicks favored in this one. Won the season series 3-1, but the teams are 1-1 when Embiid plays. So, Nick, who you got here?
With great trepidation, I take Philly.
Okay.
New York is an awesome story, and more than an awesome story, they're a really good team. Mm-hmm. And Jalen Brunson is club superstar gets unveiled midway through these playoffs.
I didn't even know that.
Jalen, well, it does every year. I mean, you don't have it? Come on, buddy.
Wow.
I didn't know when it was.
Jalen Brunson has, of every player in the league that was outside club superstar before this year, no one made a stronger case that they should replace someone in club superstar. Again, that doesn't guarantee
Ja's out.
Ja got.
Do y'all have a morals clause? Or something?
The pat down thing. It's whole thing. It's hard for him. Ja was in, but Ja was already out. But so we can do club superstar later, as we always do in the, around the middle of May. But Jalen has made a strong case. The Knicks record, when OG plays and Jalen plays, is gaudy. Here is my concern, and this is, I guess, damning with faint praise. Tibbs gets so much out of his guys all year long that I don't remember a Tibbs team that had a playoff gear. I remember a lot of Tibbs teams that got to playoff level intensity by like game 6, and his brilliance is keeping them there.
Right.
And then teams that they looked better than during the regular season, who were kind of coasting, they see them in the playoffs, they get to a playoff gear, and they beat them. That, plus the Knicks injuries, plus the fact that I don't think the Knicks have a great answer for Embiid with respect to Hartenstein and respect to their front line. Nobody has a great answer to Embiid. I'll take Philly in a hard-fought long series.
I'm going to say something I haven't said since Sprewell and Houston were in those
here we go.
hallways of Madison Square Garden. Give me the Knicks! I got the Knicks in 7.
7?
Wow.
7.
That'll be great. We got to go to that game 7 if that happens. But go ahead.
Let's go.
Go ahead.
And look, if Embiid were healthy, I'd be going with Philly. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt. But I just think he just didn't look good. It's not, and you're right. At times he played well, and I think he's going to get his 20-something points. But I don't think he's going to be the dominant Joel Embiid that we saw in the beginning of the year. I also think with Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson, they 2 7-footers who are athletic. They can get out on the perimeter or something. Mm-hmm. They're not going to stop him, but they can make it tough for him. They can contest
12
him
fouls for him.
Yeah, they can contest him and all of that. Yep. Look, you mentioned Tibbs' team, and I totally agree with you on that. What is this? This is the Chicago Bulls with Derrick Rose. coached by Tim.
Yes.
That's exactly what they're.
Also
And you're right.
Villanova.
They couldn't beat the Heat.
Yeah.
With LeBron and D Wade and Bosh, but they still won their share of games. And I'm not saying the Knicks are that good. That team won 60-something games, but still. That's the formula.
No, that's right.
And you mentioned it with OG Anunoby. They're 20-3. Now, they played, I don't make too much out of the regular season matchups, but they did go 3-1 against Philly. Obviously, Embiid only played one of those games. But when he played, Philly was at their height. They had won 11 of their last 16. Embiid was playing like the best player in the world.
And they beat
him by 36.
No, they got
the Knicks beat him by 36. Yeah. So I just think that because of Embiid, I think that the Knicks are going. And I don't mind missing Julius Randle. Julius Randle's not been a playoff performer. He's been a detriment in the playoffs. Here, regular season, he's a 47% shooter. Playoffs, 34%. All right, so that
I was at the Knicks game that I don't remember.